try and finish this story. I don't know how many chapters are left. I might try to finish the rest of these chapters, run through them in one video, and upload it as one big long video of the last few chapters or chapter. I don't know how much is left in the service of Mrs. Claus, but we're going to try and finish it as much as I can. So, let's go.
Voiceover on. Welcome
We're
back.
at interlude.
Interlude, a blue Christmas image.
A blue Christmas. Let's go.
Interlude. The snow falls all around you as you walk this. Show stats.
First, let's see what we are.
Back button. Name, Rosewood Unicorn. Achievements, button. You haven't unlocked any achievements yet. Back
No
button.
achievements? Okay.
Steadfast. 56%. Open-minded. 44%. Gluttonous. 47%. Temperate. 53%. Elegant. 88% rustic, 12% shifting, 58% tinkering, 55% trickery, 20% cheer, 79% connections, 46% page 2 of 7, Mrs. Claus, 70 candid mistletoe, 81% flickering flame, 22% Kay the magician, 43% Donner, 64% fractured quartz, 47% nightmare king, 46% Gray the dreamer, 30% copper crank, 30% blast ghost, 42% Christmas spirit, 45% back button. The snow falls all around you as you walk the streets of New York. The streets are quiet this early in the morning, except for a few busloads of revelers coming back from the casinos. Far above you, invisible to the humans, you can see reindeer pulling the old sleigh. Looks like Christmas is still on. Flame's motives are questionable. You have the heart, after all. But there is the entire population of Claus Castle to appease. Page 2. The snow falls all around you as you walk, alone, now, with no allies. You have nothing to offer them, after all. It's food for thought. So much. It's been a long time since I've felt this free. I regret what I have done. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be next. And who does? But life goes on. You've lived long enough to know that friends, like seasons, come and go. You may be down right now, but you're not out. And for all you know, you'll soon rise to the top again. Let's see what this year brings, you think. Next chapter, button. Let's see what this year brings, you think. This will be the year of Rosewood Unicorn, free agent. Let's hope it's a good one. Next chapter, Chapter 12 Crinkle Incorporated, image. The sunlight is fading from the meadow. It's almost time. You crouch forward from your hiding spot just enough to observe the Crinkle Corp technicians. They're setting up another rift-feeding device in the clearing. Who knows which mortal bleeder they found to power it this time. It's been weeks since the battle with Flame. True to his word, he's been hunting you down, preventing you from rejoining your former forces. You've been forced to wander alone, observing Flame's servants and the agents of Crinkle Corp. The corporation has become far more aggressive in their incursions into the Fey world. Page 3 of It's been weeks since the battle with Flame. As you watch, tired and alone, you think of what led you to get into this mess. I wasn't confident against Flame. My heart wasn't in the fight. I did nothing wrong. It's all a matter of luck. I made a mistake. I let Claus down. I ended up like this due to forces beyond my control. Page 3 of I ended up like this due to forces beyond my control. I made a mistake. I let Claus down. I did nothing wrong. It's all a matter of luck. I wasn't confident against Flame. My heart wasn't in the fight. I made a mistake. I let Claus down. I wasn't confident again. Next, Flickering Flame is an old friend, after all. If you can call him that. And so many of his followers are from Claus Castle. When it came to the crucial moment, you couldn't do it. But none of that matters now. All that matters is that Crinkle Corp is setting up another one of their cursed devices, and it's up to you to stop them. But first, you have a bit of reconnaissance to do. You'll have to go this alone, of course. It's been hard, but you're the only person standing between Crinkle Corp and everybody else. Page 2 of You've had to decide for yourself how to handle the crisis. I'm hoping to capture their equipment to see if we can use it to block off the two worlds. I'm hoping to make things the way they used to be, close the rifts and keep Crinkle Corp out. I've been sabotaging their devices every chance I get. I'm trying to create chaos between the worlds. I try and stop them before they close the rifts. I want to bring the worlds together in harmony. Page 3 of 3. I try and stop them before they close the rifts. I want to bring the worlds together in harmony. I've been sabotaging their devices every chance I get. I'm hoping to make things the way they used to be, close the rifts and keep Crinkle Corp out. I'm hoping to make next, of course, you don't want all interactions between human and Fae to end. But Crinkle Corp and these rifts have to go. Humans should not be able to enter the Fae world. That's how you feel right now, at least. But none of that matters now. You peek out at the agents and get ready for action. It's been hard doing this on your own, but you've figured out your own rhythm. How are you going to deal with the humans? I infiltrate the camp with perfect Page 2 of 2. I infiltrate the camp with perfect silence, sabotaging the machine. I activate an electromagical device that should disable all of their equipment. I transform into a mud lizard and go on the rampage. I turn all their guns into gumdrops, or gun drops, whatever you want to call. I transform into a mud lizard and go. I activate an electromagical device that should disable. I infiltrate the camp with perfect silence, sabotaging the machine. I turn all. Next, you haven't been feeling especially Christmas-y recently, but the magic still comes in handy. You grab a bite of a gingerbread man from your pocket for good luck, and then concentrate on your desired goal. The mingled shouts of the agents put a smile on your face. You watch as they scatter in surprise over the suddenly candy weaponry. Looks like it's pretty sticky stuff. They're having trouble removing their hands from the gumdrop guns. The mingled shouts of the agents put a smile on. They put up an intense fight. But before too long, you have the agents subdued. It's difficult, out here on your own. Once all the agents are tied up, you break open the device. There is an old man inside of it, wired up. Another human in the Fae world. You handle him like you handled all the others. Page 3. They put up I push him back through the rift. No more, no less. I bring him with me. He could be friendly. I leave him here. No need to get involved. I investigate the rift to make sure he'll be all right, then put him in. Page 3 of I investigate the rift. I bring him with me. I push him back through the rift. Next, but just like a dozen times before, you toss the human through the rift and walk off. It's what has to be done. You wander far until you find a low tavern in Old Town in Dwarf Country. You hole up for a while, anonymous, ignored. Next, but another month passes. It's closer to Easter, now. You receive news that Crinkle Corp is heavily investing in an ad campaign against Easter, and against all holidays, really. It's not openly against holidays, of course. That would be too obvious. Instead, it's a campaign for buy now. Why wait, is the slogan. The idea is that people deserve pampering year-round, and buying something you don't like because it's in season, or waiting on a nice gift because it's not some random calendar date is just silly. They're advertising with new 3D hologram projectors. Page 3 of whatever the humans think of this, it's bad for the Fae. While individual bleeders can change small portions of your world, the collective human consciousness is its very lifeblood. Holidays are a means of channeling that. Without a doubt, this campaign will decrease the Christmas spirit in the world. In fact, you've heard rumors that Copper Crank is gone. She only had a tenuous connection to the mortal imagination to begin with, and this was the last thread. Witnesses say that Copper just faded away, a smile on her face. Page 3 of whatever the humans think of this, it's bad for the Fae. In fact, you've heard rumors that Copper Crank is gone. Next, which is why you are here today. There's not much you can do as a lone elf, but you have to try. One of the holographic projectors is in front of you on a lonely street on a warm summer's night. You could leave it alone, but you have nothing to lose at this point. I open it up, looking for ways to disable the rest. Radio button, check. I use Christmas magic to change it to a holiday advertisement. I cloak it, making it invisible to others. Page 2 of 2. I use Christmas magic. I cloak it. I open it up, looking for next. You take a quick look around to make sure no one is looking. This area's seclusion is exactly why you picked it. Then you sidle up close to the machine and drill a hole in the base. You pull on the hole and open a panel. Inside is a mass of wires and cables. You search through the maze of cables and blinking devices. You're sure that these are decoys. They could serve no possible purpose as they are. You reach lower. There. A transponder. And the signal's showing up on your equipment. With a bit of work, you ought to be able to shut this whole thing down. Page 2 of fall is coming, and things are getting worse. K is the latest to be struck, with dozens of their bodies dissolving into thin air over the last few weeks. There is news of Crinkle Corp shutting down the fairy circles, severely limiting your ability to traverse the worlds. The Ocean of Sorrows has been hit particularly hard. If they all get shut down, it will severely limit your ability to get to the human world, heart or no heart. I'm familiar with many of the sirens there. I gather information from them and use it against Crinkle Corp. Page 3 of 3. I'm familiar with many of the sirens there. I shift into an underworm and stake out the area. I cloak the fairy rings, making it harder for Crinkle Corp to find them. I cloak next. Magic this extensive is hard and requires work. On a moonlit night, you gather handfuls of herbs and a rabbit's foot you received as a gift years ago. Muttering an incantation, you brew a thick sludge which you then mix with salt and spread over the rings. Unfortunately, you manage to include an ingredient that reacts poorly to the chemicals in the fairy ring, causing you severe burns and letting Crinkle Corp work unhindered. Life gets hard. The isolation begins to eat at you. The months pass, and your lone wanderings take you further and further from where you once were. You occasionally hear battles in the distance or see great gray swathes of destroyed land, but you shun them. Page 2 of 3. One day, you find yourself deep in a swamp that has taken most of a week to pass through. There is still no end in sight. You sit on a log and sigh. Regrets? Asks a voice. You jump up to see a gray cloaked figure. For a brief moment you have a flash of recognition, but it fades. Who are you? Page 2 of 3. Bottom. Page 3 of 3. Who are you? What do you want? Escape. Escape. Who are you? Radio button. Next. An acquaintance. You are friends with my family. Friends. You try to think of someone you know. Surely not the mortal children, and this is too far from the dreamlands for Gray. And this person has a smell that never came from a fae. I regret talking, but I ask you, do you have regrets? I regret talking to you. I regret Claus's death. I regret not defeating Flame when I had. Page 2 of 2. Enter your own regret. I regret nothing. I regret not defeating Flame when I had the chance. I regret not defeating Flame. Next, the figure nods. I have a regret. I left my son unattended for far too long. He fell into a terrible trap, and I am grateful to you for saving him. Seeing your puzzled face, the figure says, I am referring to the creature you call the Nightmare King. A chill runs over you. The Nightmare King had unbelievable power but lacked control. His parent, however. I've watched you, and the battles between Crinkle Corp and the Fae. The devices employed by Crinkle Corp have begun to affect the edges of my domain. It's a mere trifle, a small annoyance, but one which drew my attention back to your world, and reminded me of my debt to you. Page 2 of they continue. I ask you, what would you like me to do? I will do whatever is in my power. I will only grant one request, however. Remove Crinkle Corp from this world and keep them from returning. Remove the barrier between the mortal world and the Fae. Christmas is the cause of this all. I want you to destroy Christmas. Page 3 of 3. Bring back Claus from the dead with all her power restored. Strengthen the power of Christmas to help the Fae defeat Crinkle Corp. Christmas is the cause of this all. I want you to destroy Christmas. Remove the barrier between the mortal. Page 2 of 3. They continue. Page 3 of 3. Christmas is the cause of. Remove the barrier between the remove Crinkle Corp from this world and keep them from next. But the figure waves a hand. Have your heart's wish granted by an extra-dimensional being. Achievement. Friends in high places. The figure waves a hand, and a sphere of distorted light appears before you. Inside is a vision of Phil's office. The leadership of Crinkle Corp intones the figure. It reaches a hand inside the sphere and grabs Phil, pulling him inside of his sleeve. You kneel down to peer more closely. Phil is gone. What did you do? You did, but the cloaked figure is gone. Next chapter, button. Chapter 13. Save Christmas for future generations. Chapter 13, epilogue, image. Epilogue, show stats, button. Show back button, grumpy goose. 18, steadfast. Gluttonous. Elegant. 8, shifting. 58%. Achieve. Back. You have unlocked 2 out of 15 possible achievements. Earning you a score of 125 out of a possible 550 points.
But not here on camera.
Have your heart's wish granted by it. You have unlocked 2 out of 15 possible achievements. Friends in high places. Have your heart's wish granted by an extra-dimensional being. 25 points. Christmas eternal. Save Christmas for future generations. 100 points.
Nice.
Back button. Elegant. 88%. Elegant. Back button. The decisions made that night work their way through the fabric of the worlds and influence all the years that follow. Screen dimmed. The decisions made that night work their way through the fabric of the worlds and influence all the years that follow. The connections between the worlds are thinner than ever now. Many portals dry up over time and new ones are rare. A new kind of employment springs up for prospectors that travel the Fey world looking for thin spots to connect to the mortal world. The dreamlands grow smaller, but Grey retains his mastery of them. That's one connection, at least, that hasn't dried up. Page 2 of thoughts and feelings, as well as telepathic connections, work as well as usual. K makes a killing by setting up an information network using his bodies in the 2 worlds as a conduit for communication. And mortals enter the Fey world from time to time through their own thin spots, whether in dreams, or closets, or holes in the earth. As for Christmas, your choices have influenced the holiday's future, but so have your actions over the last few years. You've managed to keep everything fairly similar to the way. As for Christmas, your choices have influenced the holiday's future, but so have your actions over the last few years. You've managed to keep everything fairly similar to the way it used to be. Christmas comes and goes each year as it did before, even if there have been some changes at the top. Elves spend their time monitoring human children and constructing toys, and the corporate side of Christmas continues onward. Page 3 of As for Christmas, your choices have influenced the holiday's future, but so, despite the theft of Santa's heart, the betrayal of Flickering Flame, the growth of the Kingdom of Dreams, and Crinkle Corp's predations, you have managed to save Christmas itself. And it feels good to have done something truly impactful. Next button. Crinkle Corp is no more. The former agents scattered and the holdings cut up and sold as separate businesses. Phil's death is marked in newspapers across the world and becomes a subject of gossip and conspiracy theories for decades to come. Bits of their spare technology found across the Feyworld are scavenged and used by nefarious factions and private enterprise. Next button. Flickering Flame now has the role of a powerful warlord in the Feyworld, hoarding the precious few fairy rings and extorting wealth from those who try to pass. In a short time, he has amassed a huge pile of wealth and spends much of his time as a red dragon burrowing in the pile. Flame openly mocks the strength of Christmas now, but there are rumors that he spends late nights practicing Christmas magic in the vaults. Next button. Mrs. Claus's memory lingers on in the hearts of her former employees. A popular cycle of songs arises about her and her history. It includes titles such as Mistress of the Moon and the Great Wedding, referring to her distant past, but also newer ones referencing her recent adventures, such as Claus in the Flame and the Last Stand of Rosewood Unicorn. Your part in that song is bold and heroic. Everyone knows that you two were firm friends. She would have fought hard to page 2 of 2. She would have fought hard to find more ways for the Christmas elves to easily make it to the mortal world. Of course, she would have continued to represent Christmas to the best of her ability. She would have been glad that it hadn't been weakened from its original state, despite her death. Next button. Being alone is something you're not exactly used to. All of your plans in the past were based on how you would be useful to society. Working at Claus Castle, spending time with friends, fighting against Crinkle Corp. It was all about other people. And now, it's just about you. Now that you're the only person you need to take care of in the world, what are your plans? Page 2 of 2. I'll find a new group to join. I just want to work for someone who cares about me. I'm going to reconnect with my roots. I don't have any plans. Let's see where life takes me. I'm going to reconnect with my roots. I just want to work for someone who cares about me. I'll find a new group to join. I want to belong to something bigger than myself. I just want to work for someone who cares about me. I'm going to reconnect with my... I don't have any plans. Let's see where life takes me. I'm going to reconnect with my roots. I'm going to reconnect. Next, when you feel adrift, it can help to remember where you came from, so you can know where you're and where you're headed. You can explore the areas you once knew when you had just joined Claus. The Iron Elves used to talk about a pool in a high mountain that shows you your past with perfect clarity. It always moves to a new spot when someone discovers it. If you found that, it could help you in your quest. Next button. There's one last thing that you think about before you go to sleep this night. A long time ago, you set a goal for yourself. You told yourself that you wanted to get Santa's heart back and restore Mrs. Claus's power. But Mrs. Claus does not have her power. She has not been restored to her previous glory. Who knows if it was your actions, her fate alone that determined her position. If you could go back and do it again, maybe you would change what you did, find a different way to reach your goal. But life rarely takes the path that we intend it to, and sometimes we reach an outcome that is better than what we had planned. In the end, the story of your deeds is one which elves will tell for years to come. Page 2 of... If you could go back and do it again. End button. If you could go back and do it again, maybe you would change what you did, find a different way to reach your goal. But life rarely takes the path that we intend it to, and sometimes we reach an outcome that is better than what we had planned. In the end, the story of your deeds is one which elves will tell for years to come. End button. We hope you've enjoyed playing. On a scale from 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this game to a friend? 10, most 9, radio button, uncheck, 8, radio button, uncheck, 7, radio, 6, 5, page 2 of 2, no response. 1, least likely. 2, radio button, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, radio button, unchecked, checked. 9, radio button, checked. Next, but, great. Please post a review of this version of the game on the App Store. Review this game, link, next, but, review this game. App Store, tab bar, close, button. Voiceover off.